Originally, it was believed that Destiny 3 was in development since late 2018 due to some leaks from well-known Destiny leaker Anon the 9. Shortly after Forsaken's release, he claimed that Bungie had started active development on Destiny 3, suggesting that Destiny 3 would release September 2020. At the time of this leak, it did sound very plausible if we look at the history of the Destiny content releases. In 2014, we got Destiny 1, 2 small DLCs released within 6 months of the base game, followed by a massive Taken King expansion. Small updates in between, then a final large expansion known as the Rise of Iron. Destiny 2 has followed this same release schedule almost exactly. Destiny 2, 2 terrible small DLCs, a massive Forsaken expansion, small updates, then another large Shadowkeep expansion. It would make sense for Destiny 3 to release then in fall of 2020, and I believe that was the original plan. However, things have changed a lot behind the scenes since this leak originally surfaced. The first major change is that Bungie and Activision split. When this happened, Bungie took full creative control of the franchise and would self-publish the game moving forward. I'm sure under Activision though, they fully intended for Bungie to release a Destiny 3 in the fall of 2020 and follow a similar release schedule as Destiny 1 and 2. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had been working on Destiny 3 after Forsaken as this leak suggests. But I believe after the split from Activision 4 months later, Bungie changed course a bit and either shelved Destiny 3 for the time being, or are giving themselves a more generous development schedule for the game, probably pushing Destiny 3 back a few years. Bungie's recent Vidoc strongly hinted at that idea that they will instead continually create more content for D2 rather than a new game so soon.
Each year we have an expansion set that comes out like Shadowkeep, and we're going to have 4 follow-on seasons. And the expansions themselves are like meant to be an anchor that is going to set that arc in a place. That growth, evolution, change, that's the stuff that manifests in the seasons. So we evolved the season pass.
One of the biggest changes from the seasonal model you'll see from the annual pass is that we're focusing a lot more on how the seasons actually connect to one another. We want to make sure we're actually threading a narrative that players can follow, starting in Shadowkeep.
Season 8 is the catalyst.
Season 9 is really where things start to build, and then Season 10 is where things start to get pretty intense, and then Season 11, everything is going to come together, and you're going to want to be there to see it happen. It's going to be like no other time in Destiny.
This is the 5-year vision for the game.
I don't have too positive of an outlook for the current direction with drip feed content releasing periodically, and I don't think it's sustainable for the next few years of Destiny 2. I believe Bungie really needs to take a step back and reevaluate how they're going to keep Destiny 2 alive that long, and I don't think what they're doing currently is the answer for a lot of people in the community. I think people are really starting to notice the lackluster direction of the game, and I believe it'd be wise for Bungie to take a step back and refocus their vision a bit. Something else to consider is that Bungie is working on a new IP, something completely unrelated to Destiny. Based on a recent job listing Bungie posted, it sounds like their next game could be a hero shooter or something more lighthearted than what we got with Destiny, and here's exactly what the job listing says. Would you like to work on something comedic with lighthearted and whimsical characters? Do you think a lot about how art impacts gameplay, how character design can enable fan cosplays, or how character poses and environments speak to different cultures all around the world? As the incubation art director, you will define the look of a new Bungie IP and work on all aspects of art to guide a prototype on the path to production. Most importantly, you will work with a fun, dedicated, and passionate cross-discipline team devoted to making a new franchise at Bungie. Sounds a bit interesting, I guess, but it definitely is in pre-production. Mark Noseworthy said this last year at E3 2019. He said, "We're about 600 people now. We're primarily working on Destiny. It's almost the entire studio. We've got a few people in the backyard planting some seeds that might grow into some future things." Then later that year, Bungie's CEO Pete Parsons said this, "By 2025 we have a pretty specific path to make sure we transform Destiny and that we have other franchises within the marketplace. We're thinking about what is the future that we want to have as a company, not just with Destiny, but ultimately with other games we want to make, but the company we want to have and the people we want to be with." So what does this all mean for Destiny 3? Well, based on what Mark Noseworthy said about the majority of the team working on Destiny, I can't imagine that means strictly Destiny 2 related content. I'd bet Destiny 2's content is being developed by a smaller team to keep the game afloat and bring in revenue in the meantime, but I'd hope a large portion of the Bungie team is developing Destiny 3. It sounded like by 2025 we'll see this new IP from Bungie, so I'd expect Destiny 3 to release maybe 2 or 3 years before that, so either 2023, maybe 2022. But again, I'm just speculating here. There's really no way to know for sure when we will actually see Destiny 3 release. As for what I would love to see from Destiny 3, definitely tying up some loose ends and getting back into some interesting abandoned story arcs from the game. Things like the Nine, the Drifter, the Dreaming City, Uldren, Callus, even a lot of stuff from Destiny 1 like the Exo Stranger, the Iron Lords, and Siva, and all the other cool stuff left untouched in the Destiny lore. I'd also really like to see them have a definite separation of PvE and PvP. I believe PvP has just too much of an impact on the PvE side of the game, and I think after 6 years it's clear that they just need to be completely separate. If Destiny 3 releases, it needs to ship with all the planets from Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, along with all the strikes, raids, and gear from the previous game. I don't really think anyone is up for a complete wipe of your characters anymore, so that's very important to keep the gear that we've earned throughout the last 6 years in the game. Cross-save has been absolutely amazing for the game, but I think cross-play is the next step, and I hope to see that in Destiny 3. I really think it would be great for the PvE side of the game. If Bungie can make that happen, I think the game will be in a much healthier place population-wise. From the looks of things, Destiny 3 is pretty far out, and I hope Bungie takes this time to really nail down a vision and a solid launch and endgame for its inevitable release. After 6 years, they haven't really been able to stick to what works. They've come close with things like Taken King, Rise of Iron, and Forsaken, but somehow Bungie finds a way to undo their progress made with those releases. So let's hope Destiny 3 can recapture my and many other fans' attention and bring them back to the game that they love. That's all I've got for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one and click that like button if you enjoyed. I will see you in the next video, guys.